the profession of teaching has been one that has been demonized and demoralized. Cuts have come, in terms of healthcare and retirement, and I know that fewer and fewer people are going into teaching, and many are leaving to seek positions elsewhere or in totally new fields because they can't make a living. We shouldn't have a teacher in the state of Michigan who can't make enough money to put food on the table. There are teachers on the bridge card in our state. That's unconscionable. We have to make it easier to afford to go into education in the first place so you don't leave with crippling debt that you never have a chance to pay back because you're not making enough money. I know that the backbone of our economy and of our communities and the thing that levels the playing field for all kids is a great public school education. And I think our governor should listen to you and parents like me and kids like mine when making policy instead of one family on the west side of the state who's been dictating the policy for too long in the state.
I think it's number one, it's about respect, and this war on teachers has to end. And I'm a guy who went to public schools. I believe in public education. I also believe that parents are in charge and they need to make sure that they've got to be deeply involved in this process. And I think in today's teachers need to have more dollars and cents for training. This is the 21st century. This is not the one-room schoolhouse. It's not Little House on the Prairie. Rather, it is Michigan, 21st century. We need to compete against states all across the country. This question about teacher shortage and how you retain leaders in education is very similar to how do you get more workers in a lot of different professions here in the state of Michigan. And I think it's about how you have our economic climate, in my opinion. And we need to broaden and deepen the pool of talent, which really means people. And I'm running for governor to build our population because other states are growing faster than we are. Here's an example. I was in the Thumb not long ago meeting with the school superintendent, and right now there are 8,000 children in the Sand Lake school system. Years ago there were 16,000. So we've seen the number of kids in schools shrink. We need to build our population and grow so that we are a growth state.
Well, I think one of the most important things is valuing them. And one of the things that tells you that we value them is the way we spend our budget. Dr. Milton Friedman, who was a well-known libertarian, did a great study. It's called The Tyranny of the Status Quo. And over a 50-year period of time, he shows how about 93% of the budget used to be spent directly on classrooms, either teachers or their support materials. And that number has now dropped into the mid-60s. And we've got an awful lot of administration, an awful lot of testing regimens and other support staff that are not necessarily connected to the value of the classroom. And so I think it's a matter of reorienting our budgets away from these other priorities, often of which have been part of things like No Child Left Behind. We spend an awful lot of money and resources teaching kids to take tests, and that isn't necessarily good for school or for their development. I focus on critical thinking and reading. Those are the two things that I felt I was given in school, first by my parents and then by my elementary school teachers. And that put me on the right course. And we know that early childhood development is a key part of that.